Hi guys, 18 Dapper here and welcome to this match preview for Saturday's League 2 fixture. It's Doncaster Rovers versus Swindon Town. Let's get the video started. So guys, welcome to this match preview, Doncaster Rovers versus Swindon Town in League 2, towards the playoff picture, towards the top end of the table. So I'm expecting a decent game. If you're an existing subscriber, thank you so much for your support on this channel. Thank you for coming back and keeping and returning to the channel. As you do, it is greatly appreciated. It doesn't go unnoticed. If this video has brought you to the channel, please consider clicking subscribe so you don't miss any future content. And if you are new, this is a format that we go through match previews in. We look at previous meetings between the two teams, we look at current form across all competitions. I choose a Doncaster Rovers player just to say a few words about, and then I go on to the opponent's one to watch, which is just my opinion. You know your club much better than what I do, so please, if you think there's somebody else who I've missed or who should have a mention, please pop them in the comments down below. Let us Rovers fans know who we should be watching out for in tomorrow's fixture. And then we finish the video off with 3 predictions. The predicted team lineup thanks to FanHub, the predictions league table that me and the family do, there's an update on that, and then my score prediction, the all important score prediction at the very end. So without further ado, let's get into previous meetings. Previous meetings between Donny and Swindon, there's not been too many to talk about. We've only faced off 26 times in our history, with Rovers coming out on top 11 of those occasions, Swindon winning 5, and we've shared the spoils on 10 separate games. Looking back at the last 5 though, we go back to 2015, the 14-15 season, and the final game, the second game of the season in that one, it was a home 2-1 defeat. We don't want that tomorrow, so Swindon coming out on top in that one. And then the 15-16 season, Swindon kind of had our number once again with a 2-2 draw at home and then a 2-0 defeat at Swindon. So yeah, more recent history, Swindon have improved compared to our earlier history between the two. But we jump forward to the 2020-2021 season and Rovers did the double, 2-1 victories at home and away. So we'll take that for sure in tomorrow's fixture, a 2-1 win. Yeah, definitely take that. Moving on to current form, it could be very different though. It could be a very difficult game for us to get that 2-1 win, because if we look at the form across all competitions, Rovers with 2 wins and then a penalty win in the Papa John's Trophy, but we're coming into this one on the back of 2 straight defeats and disappointing defeats, which we'll get into in a second. Swindon, on the other hand, love a little graphic there, very symmetrical. They've won, drawn, lost, drawn and won. So coming into this one on the back of a draw and a win, they should have a little bit more confidence than what the Rovers have, in my opinion. On the Rovers though, a second disappointing performance in as many games, with little to no reaction to the defeat against Mansfield, which for me is really frustrating. I expected something. I expected a bit of fight, drive, desire. We just didn't settle in the Mansfield game, and I thought we were going to put that behind us and get a decent performance in our next fixture. The next fixture should have been Hartlepool. That was postponed for obvious reasons, but that provided more time on the training pitch to prepare for the task that was Barrow. They've started very, very well, and for me there's no excuses that we shouldn't have been adequately prepared and ready for that challenge, and from all accounts we weren't. I didn't go, so I'm just taking that with a pinch of salt and kind of trusting what people have said on social media and reports from the game. But from an outside looking in, from not watching the game, plenty of possession, 62%, so it seems like we've had a lot of the ball, but not in any areas that are going to cause Barrow any sort of danger. Very little threat in the final third, resulting in 1 shot on goal, and 62% possession with 1 shot on goal just shows that the possession was probably in our own half, and Barrow were quite happy for us to have it there. But yeah, McSheffrey's come out and criticised George Miller for kind of the lack of hold-up play and what have you. I'm not a fan of that, to be honest. I think Miller's put in tons and tons of effort. I don't think he's that type of player, to be honest. I think we're lumping balls up and hoping that he gets on the end of it. And for me, we need to be changing our approach to games, and not lumping it forward and hoping for the best. We've got players that have shown that they can play football. but at the minute we just seem to be struggling to find string passes together. And like I say, we might be quite happy playing it backwards and forwards across the defence and into midfield and then back to defence, but then it's kind of we run out of ideas, lump it forward, and then blame Miller for feeding on scraps. And I feel for a lone striker, not just Miller, any lone striker. I'm not a fan of lone strikers because I think they have to work far too hard to get anything. And like I say, feeding on scraps over the last couple of games, hopefully that changes moving forward. But Barrow, on the other hand, 8 of their 22 shots find the target, and that shows the difference. So 38% possession, 8 shots on target, and that's where we were going wrong on Tuesday night, in my opinion. Mitchell made some vital stops, but he was at fault for the first. He misjudged the bounce, but from that point on, it was a one-sided affair, which is very disappointing after defeat to Mansfield as well. So hopefully we can turn that around back at home and hopefully get something from this one. Swindon, on the other hand, they come into this one with Donny in their sights, 3 points behind us with a better goal difference. So a victory against us tomorrow will leapfrog them above us, will drop out of the playoffs. But for Swindon, a very solid start to the season. 5 of their 8 games in the league have ended in draws. So they've only lost 1 and they've won 2. So potentially it's got a draw written all over this one, who knows. But yeah, for me that shows that they're not quite there in terms of ticking every box going forward, but they're pretty solid at the back. To only lose 1, draw 5, it shows that they've got the staying power in games as well. But yeah, certainly a team to be cautious of coming into this one. The one late on Tuesday, we've had a fair share of late winners this season already, and that was coming from behind, 1-0 against Sutton, brought it back to 2-1, then Sutton pegged them back, and then a late winner. So they'll be coming into this one with bags of confidence, I think. So it's going to be a tough game, but one that I'm looking forward to. On to player profile for this one, I have gone with Harrison Biggins, 26 years old midfielder, signed from Fleetwood this summer, and he was McSheffrey's first signing. But for me, it's not quite hit the heights that I thought he would. I expected a little bit more from him, but I thought with Clayton in the middle, it'd have given Biggins a little bit more freedom to roam and get on the ball a little bit more and a bit more of a free role. But that seems to have gone to Tomlin more than Biggins. But for me, he's just not shown enough in the games that he's played. I don't think we've seen the best of him. I hope we do get to see the best of him as the season goes on. But at the minute, I think a decision needs to be made about moving Tommy Rowe from left back into the midfield and giving Biggins a bit of a rest. And that's just my personal opinion. I've not seen enough from him in the games that I've watched, and it's disappointing. But I think a rest might do him good. But Harrison Biggins, let's see if he progresses here at Donny this season. On to the opponent's one to watch though. As I said at the start of the video, you know your team much better than what I do, so please in the comments down below, if you think this individual is not the one that I should have focused on, please let us know who we should be watching out for in tomorrow's fixture. But I've gone with Jonathan Williams. I've gone with Johnny Williams because every time I've seen him, it seems to be a bit of a thorn in our side. He's very difficult to handle. 28 years old, attacking midfielder. His numbers aren't great this season. 9 appearances, 2 goals, no assists. But I think he's just one of those players where, although he's not having a great season, he's got that potential to just switch it on and control the game and change the direction that the game's going. So for me, we need to keep a very close eye on Johnny Williams to make sure that he doesn't get any space or opportunity to put Swindon on the front foot in tomorrow's fixture. So my one to watch for Swindon tomorrow, Johnny Williams. On to the predicted team lineup. This is thanks to FanHub, so if you've not downloaded the app yet, please go ahead and do so. Plenty of features to get your teeth stuck into. I do have a golden ticket still, a couple of uses left on this one, so if you're in the queue and waiting to get in, type in 18D-W88 and that'll get you into the app so you can use all the features and get used to everything that it offers. For my predicted team lineup in this one though, I have gone with an unchanged lineup from my previous preview. I think we need to change it up a bit. I'd like to see Bobby Faulkner come back in place of Adam Long. he's had a rest. Let's see how he reacts from being benched. But for me, the big one, get Maxwell in at left back. I hate to see Tommy Rowe at left back. We're not being creative enough, in my opinion, and Tommy Rowe further up the pitch will help us in that creativity. Get a natural left back in at left back. We've got Maxwell there, who's done, in my opinion, fairly well when he's been playing. So for me, Mitchell in goal, back four of Noyle, Williams, Faulkner and Maxwell. Midfield four rather than a three, I'd go with Hurst, Clayton, Tomlin and Tommy Rowe on the left. And for me, George Miller needs a bit of help up front, so let's start with two up front. George Miller, Max Waltman. 4-4-2, swap it up a bit and see if we can actually control the game and get the result at the end of it. Onto the predictions league table, so there is an update on this. Max went with a 2-0 defeat on Tuesday night, so he's done really well over the last couple of weeks he's done really well. Chris went with a 1-0 defeat, Dad went with a 1-1 draw, and I went with a 2-1 win. So there is change in the table. If you're new to this, if we get the scoreline spot on, we get 3 points. If we get the outcome right but not the result, we get 1 point. If we get it completely wrong, we get no points. So the table now looks like this. Max starting to break away at the top on 11 points. Chris has leapfrogged my dad. He's now in second on 7. Dad in third on 6 and me in fourth on 5 points. So I need to sort myself out and get a prediction spot on and start clawing some space back. And that takes me on to my score prediction. So for this one, I've already said I think it's going to be a very tough game. Swindon just outside of the playoffs, looking to break into the playoffs, coming up to the 10-game mark, and we need to turn this, hopefully a little blip of form, around. 2 defeats, let's get this victory in. Unfortunately, I can't stick my neck out on the line and say it's going to be a victory this time. I think Swindon coming into this one with much more confidence. Us on the back of 2 straight defeats. All I can see is a tight 2-1 defeat, unfortunately. And in this one, I don't mind if I do get the score prediction wrong and stay at the bottom of the table, but I always try to predict with my head and not my heart, and this is what I'm going with in tomorrow's fixture. Rovers 1, Swindon 2. And that's where I'm going to leave this video. If you've enjoyed it, please stick a big thumbs up on it for us, please. Comments in the section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Stick around on the channel for the match day vlog tomorrow. And all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.